What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your hosts MB and K Lou.
Caleb.
Hey man, we miss y'all. Appreciate y'all stopping through, pulling up, hollering at us because you know us, man. And we gonna kick this thing off right away. With
Hey man, hold on. I just noticed, man. Are you sending the little kid? Are you sending your who chair you sitting in?
my kids.
Yeah, you sending
No,
little
I was just playing.
Oh,
No,
there you go, man.
the computer screen is higher, so yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you was in the little kid table, man.
No, I like that. So, hey, eventually, MB, when we take this show on the road and show up, people gonna be like, "Hey, man, I thought you was short." So I might need to go ahead and do it because Pac Jam be looking taller than me on here,
Exactly.
and Pac Jam only 5. I ain't gonna do him like that. I ain't gonna do him like that. I covered it up. Uh, man, we're gonna start this thing off with he's a problem. And right away, man, to end the Olympics, he's a problem. Michael Norman, Michael Cherry, Bryce Deadman, and Rye Benjamin, baby, with that 4x400 meter relay gold medal. The only sprint where the men snuck out a goal, MB. And it was by these four dudes. They sprinted the USA to victory with a time of 2:55.70. And man, it really was never in question, never in doubt. Them boys got it in. And for that, after Michael Norman, was projected to win the 400, didn't even medal. Michael Cherry was projected to maybe slide into a medal contention in the 400, but Rye Benjamin actually finished silver in the 400 hurdles. And MB, that race was unbelievable. He lost to Warholm, and it was just that thing was awesome to see him just flying through. Man, they was running like real 400-meter times, except for they was running over hurdles as well. So these four guys brought the gold home, brought that jury, that real jury, and for that, he's a problem. All four.
Yeah, that 400 meter hurdle, that was a great race, man. That guy from the Netherlands ended up pulling it out, I think running on a 46 or something, the new world record, man. That dude, that was a great race, man. Getting it done, man. Hey, but we're gonna continue the vein with the Olympic style. He's a problem, and not just he, it's them. That we initially thought that the men basketball team was gonna be a problem as far as winning the gold, but it was like, don't sleep on us, baby. We're a problem. And the main dude, I keep telling, he keep watching our show, Kevin Durant, aka Alpha Dog, baby. He's a problem. At the USA, 29 points. Then you had your boy Jason Tatum come off the bench, man. The sixth man had 19.7 boards. And then, man, Drew Holiday, man, continued the vein from the NBA, being drunk on the NBA Finals, man. Continue to play great defense, getting this thing done, man. And the USA, man, they beat France. They came in with the loss against France in the opening preliminaries. But, man, they got this thing right, man. And my man Kevin Durant leading the way, baby. I think he's only him. He's got 3 gold medals now, joining your boy Carmelo Anthony, David Robinson, and the King LeBron James, man. KD holding it down. You leading the USA. He's the problem. Championship, baby. Gold medal. Take that, K. Lou.
I hear you. I don't even want to go against that. He's a problem. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna say
he got the gold now, baby.
Hey, I'm gonna say congratulations.
How do you like me now? That's what he said there.
I'm gonna say congratulations again, Drew Holiday.
Oh yeah, and then no, you can't, because the thing about it, all the coaches, the teammates, man, they was giving them so much love, man. They gave they gave KD a lot of love. But you're right, Drew Holiday did his thing, but they would say KD leadership, all that stuff. I was like, oh my God, KD getting it done. And then on top of that, just signed a new deal, man. 4-year max, getting it done, man. KD, baby. USA Olympics.
Well, remember,
their problem.
Well, remember we got that 10 minutes after from Pack Jail on Friday.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Y'all ain't know?
Exactly.
Look up, man, this thing was written 20 minutes ago, man.
Exactly.
Hey, like it was 2 weeks later, it'll be.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's a problem. A thing move, Sydney McLaughlin, Delilah Muhammad, and Miss Allison Felix. The men did it 4x4, and the women had to do it too. That 4x400 gold medal, 3 minutes 16 seconds. Listen, MB, they shut it down. They won by over 4 seconds, MB. 4-second win. Like, they shut it down. It wasn't even close. Them girls was getting the baton and just ride. And man, I tell you what, as Allison Felix, she passes Carl Lewis as the most decorated American in Olympic track history. The 35-year-old track star won her 11th Olympic medal on Saturday morning, surpassing the American record of 10 medals in track and field set by Carl Lewis in 96. But MB, congratulations, Allison Felix. And as she moves on, you got this one animal that, oh my goodness, that just, I think, really had her coming out party, and that's Miss A Thing Move. Because she is, I think, only 19, MB, just ran as a freshman, just her freshman year, and won everything this year during the college season. And one thing about collegiate runners, MB, that people don't understand, during Olympic years, they finished their entire season, ran the NCAAs, MB, and then almost basically starting this new season in the Olympics. And she never looked like she ran a college season. The pros are different. They only run about 5 races before the Olympics, that Olympic year. They're not out there really trying to put in races. The college season is what it is. You got, 10 meets or whatever it is, and that's scheduled. Then you have your conference. Then you have the NCAA Nationals. She did all that, LB, and listen. When she ran the fastest 400 time, and guess what, MB? She's an 800 girl. That ain't even her race. I think we in for a treat, MB, because I think, you know how they say, we up next. A Thing Move is up next, MB. And but all 4 girls, especially Allison Felix, winning a gold medal, going out the right way, gonna be, she's definitely a Hall of Famer. She's definitely the GOAT right now. Miss Allison Felix, and coming at your neck, Miss A Thing Mo. And the little Muhammad's excellent too. And obviously McLaughlin is a monster right now. She probably gonna be trying to double now the 4x4. The 400 meter open and the 400 meter hurdle now. Because the way she running them 400s, boy, it's just scary. All 4 of them, they're a problem.
Yeah. And we talk about the men 400 meter race. Shoot, that women's 400 meter race was great as well. And that ended up in a world record, between those two. They getting it done, man, Muhammad. But I'm talking about getting it done, man. Hey, they got it done all. Man, they've been getting done it for a while, and we've been focused on the men, man. We forgot about the women. Their problem, man, the women basketball team getting it done, 55 consecutive games, winning streak. Like, blew out Japan in the gold medal game, 90-75, led by their thickness, their trio thickness down low, Brittany Greer, Wilson,
Griner.
Griner. Excuse me, I say Griner, Breonna Stewart, and then Wilson, man, getting it done. They had 58 points in the paint, man. Laying it done. Griner had 30 points for 14 from 18. Wilson had 19.7 rebounds and 5 assists. And then Breonna Stewart had 14 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 and 6. And between the three of them, they had 11 blocks, shots, man, getting it done. And then when you talking about, man, decorated just as well, Alex Felix, 11 gold medals. Hey, man, this trio from Connecticut, man, Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi getting it down 5 gold medals. 5 gold medals. Getting it done, man. Hey, 5 gold medals getting it done. And then on top of that, the coach, Dawn Staley, she getting it done. She had 3 gold medals as a player, 2 as assistants, and now she was a head coach of this team, collected another gold medal, so for a total of 6 getting it done. So that women group, man, it consistency. Those girls want to be on that team, man, and they getting it done, man. And they definitely been a problem. They was a problem this year in the Tokyo game. They're a problem.
Yes, sir. And MB, that's a excellent segue to our first through our first story, man. The USA women saved our Olympics, MB. Listen, it was amazing. They pulled out their medals, MB, and if the women were standing on their own, they'd have finished 5th. 5th, MB, out of all the countries in the Olympics. If the USA women pulled out all their medals away from us, and that's just amazing, man. The talent pool, it's just immense. Like they're winning everything. Like if they got an award, hey, women winning wrestling, they won fencing. You know what I mean? Like
volleyball.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah,
and
you mentioned about track. I mean, we had 7 gold medals and 5 of them came from women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had a total of 66 medals this Olympics, man. They getting it done, man.
Hey, hey, listen, she rolls everywhere. And I saw Allison Felix already on the Wheaties box. I mean, just amazing. But look, MB, so it got me to thinking. I was like, man, women dominating like that. And I said, you look at college right now and the name, likeness, and image thing is out there. And I said, when you look at the Olympics and how well our women have performed, you really can trace that back to one law, MB. I don't care what anyone says, Title IX. Title IX made it available, made sports and the support of the women being able to get the same equipment, same training, being able to get great coaching and training and stuff like that, enabled our women to get to this point. Title IX did that. Before then, we ain't had the numbers like that. And we weren't as deep as we are now, because there was no support monetarily for the women's games. But Title IX did that. So immediately made me think about, with this NLI, MB, how will Title IX navigate this? Because, and I started, like I said, I was thinking, NLI, Title IX, is there a relationship? Should they, and I said, should companies be forced by Title IX to give equitable endorsement deals to women? Because that's basically the language of Title IX as it relates to college sports. And so seeing the dominance of our women in the Olympics, and then knowing that every deal we've heard of so far has been for men. And I'm not saying there aren't any deals out there, but they're going to be really, really lopsided in that. Should Title IX get involved, MB?
Yeah, so first of all, I agree with you in the sense of the impact that Title IX had on women's sports. I mean, basically, is the whole thing came about with the Civil Rights Acts in 1964, and then the Title IX was like sex discrimination. They wasn't even talking about sports, but thank God it affected sports in a huge way in 1972. And when you look at it, man, just the impact, what it did was it forced anybody that was receiving federal dollars, they had to put money into, create an equal environment for women. And like you said, it put your money where your mouth is. And so what that did, it caused public universities, man, to invest into women's sports, and you saw the benefits because now you're able to get better, more resources to apply with better training, better meal plans, better train, all that stuff from A to Z. And man, it's just a direct result of that. Great coaches and stuff like that, giving people opportunity and stuff like that, man. It just, you see the development, and no different in these past Olympics. I mean, the women has been outgaining the men in medals, and getting it done. And like I said, the women, for women basketball, I mean, 55 consecutive winning streaks, 7 straight gold medals. I mean, they getting it done, and the women's soccer in the past getting it done and all that stuff. So you see the development, you see the resources, and but from that standpoint, I think when you talk about, you're right, we haven't seen the big dollar deals. From like Alabama, they got a quarterback, roughly, Nick Saban say, maybe about $1 million. And I think you're not going to see it. I think Title IX, because of the fact of it's mainly focused on, or they have their jurisdiction in schools that's receiving federal funding, majority of the resources right now are coming from outside sources, third-party sources. So it's no way to restrict that. There's no way to get involved with that unless the school get involved with that. And just based on the NC2A, they're pretty much like, look, we're taking our hands off it. They don't want to get involved with it. I don't see the federal government trying to get involved with it as well and put the Title IX, try to get involved unless the school's involved with it some type of way. So I don't see how you can monitor that or they can regulate that. I think it's going to be a discrepancy between that, just because of just the nature of how it's set up right now. But there's no restrictions on it.
Wow, that's excellent, MB. I agree. I just think the companies are definitely missing out if they're not being supportive, especially, when you have, I think immediately, let's be honest, I think straight to basketball and I think straight to UConn.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't have them, you know what I mean? If you're not dumping money in those girls' pockets, you crazy. Because if you selling any kind of paraphernalia that has anything to do with basketball, so if I'm sure there are Nike schools. So if Nike ain't behind them, they crazy. You know what I mean? Whoever else, Spalding, whoever. Like if you dealing with girl sports, girl basketball, you better have UConn involved.
Yeah, and I think you'll see on a scale like that, you're right, small market. Now I think about the small market, you think about big market teams, small market teams, but when you look at a market like Connecticut, their women's sports is got more recognition than the men's sports,
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll see like pockets like that where, man, those girls or those, places like that where they'll get the recognition, because of the program success, or especially the market of the team and stuff like that. But on an overall picture, like it's gonna be hard, But you're right.
Right? Yeah,
like
definitely.
Yeah, stuff like that, no doubt, man. Every day, all day. I mean, man, you're gonna see it. And I hope they get as much as they can because they deserve it, From all
MB, I think what made me think about it though is I saw how beneficial it was overall for all of us in this Olympics. Like, I don't know if it's ever been this clear that if the women didn't show up, it was gonna be we was gonna have a bad Olympics. Mm-hmm. And the women showed up and showed out, and it's like, what scenario? And I couldn't think of one, but I'm thinking, what scenario could take place 10 years from now where we missed out on, celebrating them through, advertising dollars and somehow end up paying for it later. You know what I mean? So I'm not a huge regulation guy. Let me be honest with you. I'm not a huge guy that's forcing it, but it just seems like these companies should be pumping dollars into all of the the same programs. Let's face it, like, Warner Christian, which is a tiny school you never heard of here, I think they're in Lake Wells or somewhere like that. They won't have a guy that makes any money. So I'm not saying like, the same. I'm just saying like those qualifying schools that are in the, top conferences of their sports should get shown love, like we mentioned UConn and actually Don Staley's at South Carolina, Duke and North Carolina, those same kind of schools that are putting it down in their areas of expertise. I mean, I would like soccer, obviously our USA national team, is huge. However, we forget them girls coming from these schools, from North Carolinas and the Dukes and the Miamis who, I'm not sure about Miami, but North Carolina. Yeah, I thought, I'm not sure for real, but North Carolina and Duke consistently puts out good soccer women. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, oh, we don't want to support them now, but we'll support them when they make the national team. You know what I'm saying? It's the same girl. She doing the same dominating. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think, like you talked about, it's all about publicity, man. It's all about, on a scale like this. I remember with the Olympics. Okay, I remember what year was that? Where women's soccer, man, where the girl scored the winning goal and she took off her shirt and had a sports bra on,
Right.
And that brought a lot of exposure to the overall sports,
right.
Where now it almost created a movement where you had like girls or people just want to get involved with soccer,
Right.
And you see that and just even from that standpoint and you like with tennis, with the Williams sister, how the exposure they got, and people, especially people of color or black people want to go involved and get involved with tennis or Tiger Woods. I'm Tiger Woods, everybody, who don't even, I ain't even watch golf and you start watching golf. And so I think exposure like this, and you talk about Simone Biles, her dominance in gymnastics, unfortunately, what she went through this Olympics, right? But just the fact of them bleeding in exposure and stuff like that helps from the professional level, and it trickled down into the college level and gain that exposure, with those girls. Unfortunately, so it gives those exposure recognition, Unfortunately, though, a lot in this Olympic thing, since we're talking about Olympic, a lot of those athletes have for the most part have turned professional, and so they're easy to get compensated, but it still have a trickle down effect on the ones who aren't turning pro and still can indirectly benefit from the increased exposure from those sports,
Right. Right. That's well said.
Yeah.
So let me throw this out there. Full disclosure, I am not a Lane Kiffin fan. So when I saw this comment, I was shocked with who it was coming from, MB. But it's beautiful, man. And I was like, right on, Lane. And I'm gonna read the article to y'all. Lane Kiffin, he's Ole Miss head football coach, finally looked in the mirror and didn't like what he saw. He decided to make some changes, starting with losing 30 pounds over the offseason. It's all a part of holding himself and his players accountable if they want to become consistent winner in the SEC. He said, I saw me at the bowl game last year and told the players I looked like an anaconda that had swallowed a deer, and the deer got stuck in my neck. Kiffin also challenged his assistant coaches to a weight loss competition to prove his point. Man, so one of the parts, I can't find it now, MB, he said, I could not ask the players to get in the best shape of their life and to sacrifice and to be accountable, and I'm sitting there looking like a whale.
Right.
MB, I am that guy. So when I was coaching MB, I was out there running with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I never understood how coaches can tell you don't want it, and they looking like whales, LB.
Right.
They tell you ain't sacrificing and stuff like that. I'm like, what? But finally, a coach gets it. In my mind, he gets it.
Right. No, that's when you send me the article, that was well said. I mean, he had an inner conviction about, I'm gonna practice what I'm preaching, and the light was shine on him. So, I mean, because it's funny because when I read that comment, I was like, wow, because I was like, man, he put on a lot of weight,
Right.
And but the fact that he said that and held himself accountable and the reason behind it, man, it is definitely a powerful, and it's definitely the players they'll definitely respect that,
Right.
Yeah. So definitely get
like I was thinking about you and your slogan, committed on being my best. Like, that's what I looked at, and I'm like, so many times we're talked down upon by these same coaching figures, and they sitting up there like looking a mess, look like they're gonna have a heart attack tomorrow, and they telling you what you ain't doing, LB. And I'm like, man, you could at least look presentable and talk to me greasy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And I listen, I go to town on Lane Kiffin all day. That I am not a fan. But so that y'all understand the way my mind works, when you say something good, it don't matter. It's still, the truth is the truth, LB.
Amen.
Even if a liar tell it.
Even if what?
Even if a liar tell it, it's the truth.
Right.
And I'm not calling Lane Kiffin a liar either. Full disclosure. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, you got you shouldn't want to, not listen to something just because of who mouth is coming out of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well said.
Yeah. So I was just excited, man. It took me like, into the sports world. I'm like, man, why don't you hold yourself accountable? You know what I mean? Like, hold yourself accountable to us. Because the accountability, MB, if you really think about it, team-wise, it's always one way. To me, it always feels like it's from players to coaches. You know what I mean? You luckily sometimes find some staffs that tell the players, hold us accountable. You know what I mean? But that's rare, man. It's like, I'm finna put all this pressure on y'all, and if y'all don't get it done, you failed. And thus we failed because you failed. You failed first. And they won't really say that, right? But you hear it during the meetings. You hear it when they're breaking down the film. Like, dang, I called that play? Or did you call that play? You know what I'm saying? Like, so now I'm out of position and you want me to be Superman? That was not a good look to what they showed us. Admit it. But we got to make the tackle right here. See, the first 15 was on me, but that 65, that was on you.
Yeah. See, I that must be at Duke, because Miami, I mean, the coaches, we was in this thing together, baby, and so that must be that Duke mentality where they blame y'all.
see, you feel like I took a shot at Miami earlier.
No,
and that's what that was coming
with you. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing early. No, he got
I
nothing.
ain't take no shot. I didn't know. I throw Miami out there. I wasn't sure what the program looked like.
Child, please. I wasn't talking about. I ain't feel like you telling the shot. It was all good. I'm taking a shot at you. Because that's what I'm saying. Because at Miami, it was just a different mindset, you know. But I remember, even like Foxy, when we was at the Giants, Foxy used to say this all the time. He said, "Man, there's no perfect defense. If it was, I call it every play."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I guess that's what I'm saying. I've been fortunate enough around a lot of coaches that took responsibility. Like even when I coach, I was like, "Hey, look, if I tell you to do something, I'm gonna take responsibility."
Right.
But you're right, there's some shady dudes out there. Because I remember like a coach, and that's the worst thing you do. I remember a coach, he telling you to do something, right? Say the position coach telling you to do something. And you're like, okay, and then the defense coordinator, why are you doing that? And then the position coach like, yeah, why are you doing that? Like, come on, man, really? And you just lose all trust with somebody. And that's why I told my guys, I said, look, if I tell you to do something, I'm gonna take responsibility for it. Now, if you out there doing your own stuff, that's on you. But trust what I tell you. If I tell you to do something, right, then hey, I'm a own up to it, you know. And you're right. So you learn that quick. But yeah, so no doubt, I definitely get it, you know. But I definitely understand what you're saying. Definitely understand what you're saying.
Oh man, so Lane Kiffin, baby, you did your thing,
yeah,
and finally LB,
baby.
Yeah,
change the culture, man.
Hey, and that's a great way because I'm telling you, you're gonna have full buy-in.
Yeah,
both of us know that as you know, as players, definitely, and as a coach, you're gonna get full buy-in when they see you, you know, doing what it takes and out there sacrificing, and you could be walking around them munching on ring dings and bonbons and all that.
yeah.
But they see you locked in and hustling like MB. Even when you see your coach hustle to the next drill with you know what I mean, and do something to you, you know, and so, and man, it's just an awesome feeling.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm thank God I've been around a lot of great programs that emphasize that stuff, man. Where, you know, and it kind of affect me as a coach because it's a lot of times, man, I felt like I was playing through the players, you know. Yeah, I'm right there with them. And at Seattle, man, that was the thing. Like Pete Carroll just emphasized, like basically you set the atmosphere, you know, you run to the drills, you bring the juice. He'll hold the coaches accountable to bringing the juice, man. You said, and even as a leader, man, I just felt like, man, I'm in charge of setting the atmosphere. When I was as a player, it's like I'm in charge. If the defense didn't play well, I was like, man, I'm in charge. You in charge being a middle linebacker. You got to set the right atmosphere. And it's no different as a coach, you know, that you got to have that responsibility. Like, man, it's up to me. You know, I gotta make sure that whether it's practice or game, that the players come ready to play. You know, that they're prepared and ready to play. And just stuff like this, what him doing what he's doing. You're right. It does speak volumes. You know. It does speak a whole lot of volume.
So finally, MB, we got to the Hall of Fame weekend, and we had a doozy, class of 2020, MB.
2020 and 21. Right?
Yeah, we got to take them one by one, though, because, hey, like they did, they say we can't do all this in one night. We can't name everybody in one sitting.
No doubt.
So, your boy, LB, Jimmy Johnson, Hall of Famer. Bill Cowher, Hall of Famer, MB.
Yeah.
And then players, Steve Atwater, Isaac Bruce, Troy Polamalu, Zach Thomas, Clay Matthews.
No, not Zach. You speaking that to existence.
Hold on. Oh, that's the nominees. My bad.
Yeah, you speak, but go ahead and speak it to existence because
he was a tackling machine.
Yeah,
and Miami's own Edgerrin James, baby.
Edgerrin James, inmate, baby.
Edgerrin James. So obviously you had a relationship. Let's start it out with Jimmy Johnson, man. How'd you feel about it, knowing that's your coach? And obviously played against him. You ain't played for him, so you played against him in the NFL. How was that, MB?
Yeah, I mean, I played. He recruited me. He was the main reason why I came to Miami, and then got redshirted that year under him, and then he left the following year to go to Dallas, and then, like you said, came in the league and played against him, and then he ended up coaching at the Dolphins as well. But I mean, I'm happy for him, man. He deserved it, I mean, you win back-to-back Super Bowl championships, right? One of the rare coaches to win a college championship and a Super Bowl championship, And I mean, just the way he getting it done, man, outstanding coach, man. I mean, he got the most out of his players. And then not only that, man, I mean, really, he should be in there with two hats. He should be there not only as a head coach, but as a general manager. Because that team, he was the main focus on building that team.
Man, stop, man. Jerry ain't going out like that. Come
on. That's why.
Let me call Jerry and ask him who built that team.
But Jerry, no. I mean, obviously, I say the right thing. They're doing it together. But Jimmy, man, had an eye for talent, and just the deal he got with the Herschel Walker, man. I mean, that kind of put the whole program on course, man. That trade to give up that and get all those picks forward. And the biggest impact, and then also not only you having the picks, but knowing what to do with the picks,
right?
Choosing the right players, choosing, the Emmitt Smith who ran a 4.6, choosing like the players that fit his program and being able not only to draft them, but hit so many home runs on the draft. The Larry Allens, the guys, getting that done. The Jeff Coates and I mean, just for Darren Woodson. Those guys he drafted, man, identifying the players and then signing the free agent and getting the right people to fit his program. And then not only, identifying the talent, but then developing the talent. So when you talk about Hall of Fame coaches, man, I mean, well-deserved, man. Back-to-back championship. You take the Cowboys who had the worst record when they got there and then turn them around, man. We're now not only turn around, but you win it back-to-back Super Bowls. And then on top of that, you're gone and your talent still carry where you win another Super Bowl as well with Barry Switzer. I mean, could have easily, if Jimmy would have stayed, you drinking the what-if game, And so, man, outstanding coach, man. So it's one of those things where I'm like, man, I know this guy,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, man. Obviously, next we'll go right to Miami's own, Edgerrin James.
Yeah, the edge, baby, the edge getting it done, man. I mean, like what's that song? I Did It My Way, Frank Sinatra, And Edge, man, I love it. I mean, just his speech, just the way who he is as a person, what he brings to the table. I mean, what he had to say, man, just authentic. Getting it done, man. Man, that dude, I mean, super smart, hard, just tremendous athlete, great person.
So talk about that and how Peyton Manning gets a ton of credit for how that offense moved, and then you're calling out how smart Edgerrin James was.
Yeah.
I don't think he's thought of in that way. So take us through that, MB.
Yeah, I mean, like he said it. You judge a book by a cover. You look at the dress, look at the gold teeth, and you sleep on them. But this joker's super smart, man. Got great common sense, super smart. Understand exactly what we got to do. Understand the game. Just great business mind. Off the field as well. I mean, just a complete person. Complete dude. Getting it done. And so when you put him in that system. And then now he's able to make those, not only, that's the whole thing. When you talked about, because when he got drafted, right, it was a lot of boos and whatnot, or shock, because everybody projected Ricky Williams to be the first back taken. But Bill Polian understood what Edgerrin brought to the game and he was like, man, we got to get this done, because he's a complete player. And just what he taught, not only he's a great runner, but a great receiver out the backfield, and he was tough. He can pass protect as well. And so it's no surprise once he got there, his rookie year led the NFL in rushing, did it again his second year. So Edge, man, like I say, he's a perfect fit for that. And so obviously with Peyton, the quarterback, you know, he's got to make the checks and stuff like that. And Edge behind, he don't get the recognition he deserves. But trust me, those guys know what he brings to the table. Everybody knew going in exactly what this guy, all he brought to the table. And if they didn't know, he made them know after the game.
Wow. What a fantastic speech. Heard by many, MB, that his speech was the best one.
Yeah.
The other who else did you see on there? Oh, my favorite, MB, and I felt like he should have been a Hall of Famer because of one play. Kind of like you. I'm a little biased. I feel like you should be a Hall of Famer because of one play. So that's Steve Atwater, baby.
Yeah.
MB, I don't even know what else he did. Because you say that name, I think when they say Michael Barrow, they think of one hit. And I think when they say, I know when they say Steve Atwater, I only think of one play.
Yeah. And you know what? They didn't even show that play. I was like, when they were showing it, I was like, show the play. I was waiting for the play. And
MB, what was so amazing about it is, you know, the Nigerian nightmare, Christian Okoye, was supposed to be indestructible. You know what I'm saying? And then you see this slim safety come down here. He looks slim. He probably 225.
No, he wasn't slim then. He was a big safety now.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It looked like it when you looked at Christian and him. It looked like it was 270 against 190. That's what it looked like. Yeah. And 170 killed him.
Yeah. No,
that was the shot heard around the world, LB.
Yeah, no doubt. And he wanted it. And he was looking for that. He was looking for that matchup because he wanted it. He made it known. He wanted it. Nigerian nightmare, man. And you're right. That hit, man, right over the pile, man, getting it done, you know? And man, that's the guy, man. I'm proud of him because he took the long route to get to the Hall of Fame, you know, to make it. And man, thank God he was able to get in, man, because I mean that joke, he set the standard as well. Big safety like that, man, roaming in the backfield, bringing that wood, man. Because it's like you know, I say this all the time, like Shaquille O'Neal, he played basketball, like you say, man, if I was his height, man, I'd be on everybody, you know?
Right.
And that's how Atwater played the safety position, man, from back. And man, if I was that size and run that thin, man, and he brought that wood, man. He brought that wood and man, he played hard, he made plays and getting it done, man. So man, and just to hear his speech, he was just so thankful, man. His whole thing, it was just thank you. The whole time he spent just thanking everybody, you know, and that was great, man. And to see his wife and the kids on there, man, how they appreciate it as well. So, yeah, well deserved, man.
Man, MB, and obviously the only name I knew in the NFL seemed like was associated with NFL. You first even said growing up was Mr. Paul Tagliabue, MB. So, did you ever get fined by Paul?
Oh yeah, you got that FedEx. No doubt. You got that Tuesday. We used to get that FedEx, man. You get that FedEx. They bring it that Tuesday. You get that Wednesday morning. You see that FedEx, and you're like, they got me. What they got me for now? You know.
That's how you met him, huh? Through FedEx.
Exactly. FedEx, man. Fine.
You know? And then Isaac Bruce, MB. I only have one Isaac Bruce story. So it's when we played the Greatest Show on Turf after they won the Super Bowl, and they came to Giant Stadium and played us. And it was like a track meet, and they was going up and down the field on us, LB. And Isaac Bruce was so disrespectful. And when I say this, me, he was catching the ball, either getting out of bounds, and that's the first group of receivers I saw jumping on the ground. Remember that? They wouldn't let you touch them. They was getting on the ground. So he either get out of bounds or jump on the ground. Seabury, well, not Jason, but a couple of DBs, Sam there was trying to talk trash to him about it, because you know them, Sean Williams, Sam Garnes wanted to hit him.
Right.
So they selling out on him. He wouldn't even talk to them, MB. He was talking to Foxy the whole game. He wouldn't even look at them and talk to him. Man, Fox, what they doing out here? Like, he would on our sideline every time he go, because I wasn't playing, y'all. I wasn't playing a lot. So I'm sitting over there, and he talking to Foxy the whole time. It'll be during that game. He wouldn't even talk to nobody on the field. I was like, oh, you disrespectful. Like, I don't even talk to y'all jokers. Y'all ain't good enough type of deal.
Right.
I'm gonna talk to your coach.
Right. Yeah, my man Justin said he kept it real. He definitely kept it real. He said, and y'all DBs, man, some of y'all baptized me, but I baptized y'all, you know? So no, he definitely, man, getting it done, man. And just the longevity of how he played and you know, even though he's a great, you know, part of the greatest show on turf, you know, still, man, just to me, I don't think he still got the recognition that he's rightfully deserved. And just looking at his statistics and how a lot of his statistics in top 10, man, in the NFL all the time, man, I'm happy for him, man. Florida boy holding it down.
Wow. Where he from? I didn't know that, MB.
Yeah, he's from Florida, from South Florida. He went to Dillard High School.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Fort Lauderdale, man. He man, and then before he gave his speech, man, somebody, I guess he had it all written in his iPad, and they accidentally moved his iPad, so he had to just talk from the heart. But I mean, he did a great job, man.
Oh wow. And then finally,
he took
MB
the long route too, K-Lou. I mean, he talked about, which I didn't even know, he went to JUCO and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
And you see guys go that route, you know, is some dudes, especially when you talk with kids from Florida, usually got to go. I mean, if you want to stereotype, some of us sometimes we got to go because of grades or whatnot, or poor test scores or whatever the story may be, man. But just to see him, man, just his resiliency, you know, to make it where he made it, man, it's just awesome, man. Now he's Hall of Fame, you know.
Yeah, we done flipped it big time, MB. That used to be all the guys' stories down here.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, yeah. And
boy,
MB, like the dude,
they don't even know. We really would have flooded the league if they would have let all them in in the college. And then finally, you got Troy Polamalu, who MB, I just always felt like he was freakish out there.
Yeah.
With the plays he was able to make and how he, you know, threw his body around, like, oh my goodness, like, just he ain't even care, MB.
Right. And he played like his hair. He played loose. You know what I'm saying? he didn't play bound up. He just played, man, the game. He played the game the way you wanted to play. I mean, and he would do some crazy stuff. He'd be lying way low than back deep, and then all of a sudden he'll time it up and jump over the line, or you know, or do something, or line up deep and then bail out of there. You know, just changing the look and just being in that system at the Pittsburgh Steelers system, man. And just, man, they just use him the way he need to be used, man. And the dude just came ready to play. And then me being around guys that played with him in college, man, just hear them talk about him as a person and a player, man, it's just legendary, you know? And and so you knew, man, I mean, especially him at that time, it was just him and Ed, you know? And he was like, man, these dudes are battling. And he ended up winning the MVP, defensive MVP as well, and Ed did it. And so, man, just to see those two guys during that time hold it down like they did, man, it was definitely well worth it, you know? Right.
So now let's jump to class of 2021. I know we didn't talk about everybody, but I mean, there was two huge classes, y'all. We can't we can't be held accountable. We're gonna highlight it. Obviously, the first one came to everybody's mind was Mr. Peyton Manning, MB. And talk to us about the battles you guys had, because obviously he was the quarterback of the offense, you the quarterback of the defense. How did he make you prepare for games?
You know what? When I just what he brought to the table, you knew that if somebody was open, he's gonna find an open dude, especially if you give him time to throw, you know?
Right.
And so really you went in with the philosophy of like you gotta hold your disguise, you know, you gotta play the game. And then when he checks, you gotta understand what he's checking to, trying to get a feel, you know? And it's definitely like a chess match, you know? And but you just knew going in that the system they run is that they can put, you know, if it's 6-man front, box was loaded, he was going to run. If he was 8-man in the box, and he's going to check this outside pass. So it's just that chess game with him that you try to get a feel of what he brings to the table. But you knew talent-wise, smart-wise, especially the system that he in, that he can get it done, you know?
Wow, yeah. And this guy jumped off your screen, even though he played what he played, MB. Calvin Johnson,
Megatron, baby. Megatron.
We all knew. Listen, if you remember any good Detroit Lion years, they was all with Megatron. It'll be not even Barry Sanders.
You talking about playoffs or what? You talking about?
Right. And no wins. Remember, they were going 12-4 with him. You know, they were winning when he was there. They get in the playoffs and lay an egg. But I'm saying like those weren't scrub teams and barely doing anything. Even with Barry Sanders, it seems like they were always middle of the road. They may go to what? Barry went to the playoffs maybe twice, MB?
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah,
you know what I mean? But
still one and done.
You're right. But Megatron them, they were like a top team in the NFC during those years. You know what I mean? They wasn't around here 8-8. You know what I mean? Or even, you know.
Yeah, I don't remember their team wise, you know. I don't.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, obviously because they was Detroit, but I can't. You can look it up, see what years he played
right now.
Yeah, see what years he.
As far as he changed the game, though, well, when I changed the game, I mean just his size and speed and stuff like that, getting it done. I mean,
right?
You know, that whole Minnesota, Randy Moss, he got Moss. I mean, another big receiver getting it done, you know?
Yeah, he was crazy at the point where Pac Jam and I were talking this morning. I said to Pac said if you could build a receiver, you build him. And I said, no, Pac Jam, he's the created player you used to create for Madden. Make him 99 speed, make him 6'6", 6'5", 250 pounds. I said, and what he was a DN playing receiver. Yeah, exactly. That's what he was.
Exactly. Yeah, he definitely hold it down, man.
Right.
He definitely held it down.
So you had Calvin, and let me see, MB. You had safety John Lynch, Hitman, MB. I just remember John Lynch always coming downhill.
Yeah, he did. Turn down number collars, baby.
Yeah, and then coming downhill on receivers and running backs.
He also was a baseball player, man.
Oh, okay.
You know? Yeah, he was. I remember him. I think he got drafted in baseball too. But no, he used to bring that wood, man. He used to bring it, man. And obviously being on that Tampa Bay defense, getting it done, and then then he went to Denver as well.
Right.
I mean,
After he left Tampa, and it was. I thought his speech was really touching when he got choked up and Herm got choked up because he said he never thought of himself like that. And Herman Edwards, who had Tony Dungy brought to Tampa to be his DB coach, told him that he could be in the Hall of Fame, MB.
Wow.
Said and it touched him. He got all choked up during that time. So I thought that was huge. And then old Woody, MB, Charles Woodson, got the nod. And man, when you think of him, you thought of, man, this dude, you know how everybody was the next Michael Jordan, MB? This was the next prime time. And he's one of the few Heisman that actually did what they thought they would do. You know what I mean? Like you think of a Heisman traditionally, you think, man, they gonna tear it up, because they the best player in college. They gonna go to the league and tear it up too. And this guy did it though. This guy did it. He was a staple from the word go, and a lot of people, forget he's one of them specialists too that they throw back there when they needed a play in the punt return game or the kickoff return game. They send him out there.
Right.
And he had to play number one. Old school LB, where they actually followed you on the football field. He was one of them guys.
Right. No, he definitely getting it done, man. Locking it down and playing for Green Bay and the Raiders, And so, man, he definitely Woodson, man, good size corner, and then, man, just the whole thing. They also used to put him at a nickel position and send him off the edge. Remember that whole he was part of that whole tuck rule, with him sack calls fumble on Tom Brady, but the whole tuck rule, So man, he's definitely one of those dudes that the versatility, especially in the secondary of what he brought to the table, man, and just how he played. He definitely was a baller, baby.
Man, what an awesome show, I guess it was, MB, with different guys, their speeches, their love that they showed, to their teammates. I remember Steve Atwater had all his guys stand up. That was pretty cool to see that group of guys, and it's so important. And I think a lot of people may not realize, obviously, you love your family and you want your family to share. And a lot of times they had everything to do with it. But it's those guys that you had to look into their eyes and know that you really, MB, was playing for each other. You know what I'm saying? And even though obviously those guys Hall of Famers, so they played a lot better a lot of times than their teammates, the fact that they were holding you accountable to be your best. You know what I mean? Regardless if I can't make the play, we know you can make it. You know what I mean? And I thought that was important too, that, they got a chance a lot of times to look at those guys' eyes and thank those guys for, challenging them a lot of times. So.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when you have a close group of guys and you can hold them accountable and hold each other accountable, man, it's definitely means a lot,
Man, and then Adam over there saying Faneca must have lost close to 200 pounds with his marathon body on 13-year knees. Listen, 13, I think he mean NFL knees. Hey, those linemen will freak you out. MB and I are used to that. Like, those linemen, you think they doing something illegal. How small they be getting on you. Like it's linemen that we ain't even recognize you walked up on them like, what?
Right.
or their head look this huge now. It's out the screen because you so used to their body being so big. When you see them looking normal, you like, what?
Right.
Man, what wrong with your head?
That's good for them dropping that weight,
That's exactly what I was gonna say, but that's definitely a blessing for them because you shouldn't be walking around like that. You know what I mean? Not needing it anymore.
Yeah.
Man.
Good for them, man, getting it done. Because that's tough, man. Because I know once you get through playing, you don't train so hard all in life. You be like, man, I'm tired, but to continue to train, training for life, that's well, what you talked about earlier with Lane Kiffin, I mean, that's a huge commitment, to get that done.
Right. And even, one of the things, obviously, with COVID going around, one thing that can help you is being in some decent shape and eating healthy.
Yeah.
So definitely, it should wake some people up. Hey, we love you too, Steve.
What's up, Steve?
Well, man, we appreciate y'all pulling up, stopping through, hollering at us, because you know us from sideline to baseline with MB and K. Lou. We are gone.